Well, Adam Berg, man, I mean, you're the only guy in America who failed in the largest growth industry in the world, right? The shared economy.
Very proud of it.
Right. So now you're an expert on failure, aren't you?
That's true.
Yeah, and you help people deal with that. But your original idea, you really haven't failed. I mean, it was part of the shared economy, and people could lend other people things when they don't need it, make extra money, and all this kind of stuff. But it's really probably just ahead of its time, right? But what's more interesting, what you're doing, is you're hanging on to that sucker, aren't you? You believe in it, man. This is a religion. It's not greed.
We're hanging on. We're channeling it into learning. We're not paying millions of dollars a day. Our cost of learning has decreased.
Right, but you're going to be there. In the long run, you're going to, because it's an idea that has to happen. So you're really teaching the rest of us, when you get on something and it doesn't take us, everybody convinces you this is going to be $1 zillion, and it doesn't. You're teaching the rest of us how to hang in there and still figure it out, aren't you?
How to hang in, how to give yourself enough time. I think, I say sometimes in my classes, another word for being too early is just being wrong. How do you balance that? I know I'm going to be right, and all the big entrepreneurs out there, that it's not, timing and perseverance is one thing, but on the other side, the market needs to come around. You need to have enough ammunition at the end of the day. So there is this balance. I think like 10 years ago, we were taught just hang on.
Right.
Class within that. You need that to succeed, but that alone won't cause you to succeed. So yeah, I figured out on my own, and with the help and using Lean Startup, and so how do you hang in there? How do you learn your way through because we're all going to fail. We talked about earlier, 1,000 ideas. How do you weed through the 1,000 in just a less arbitrary way? And how can you literally afford to hang in there until
Well, yeah, I read some data in the paper today, in the Times. It was an op-ed that's saying like 20% of the women who marry, their husbands in the beginning thought they were assholes. They never.
It's a dangerous game to think that the market's just wrong and eventually it'll come around.
Right.
Customers are all stupid and they don't get it. I've been there too, and I have clients and customers and mentees who think that way too. So, I like this notion that you're hanging on to that, but there is this balance.
Oh yeah, you got to know when. But it works both sides. So I think what you're doing is important, is that you're hanging on without spending resources. I mean, you're not taking the initial model that cost so much to start and it didn't work, but you're hanging on to the concept and figuring out how to stay around without expending money, right?
So another trait, I never thought I'd be a guy full of sayings and truth, but you fall in love with the problem, not in love with the solution.
Right.
You fall in love.
Yes.
You fall in love with actually solving a problem for a customer, and not necessarily this theatrical entrepreneurship where I'm going to go out and raise a bunch of money and impress my parents by being on a
oh, been there a lot myself, boy.
Tell my friends that I went through the latest accelerator. All those things are good in and of themselves, but for the purpose of entrepreneurship as sport, almost you sort of have to move past that and fall in love with the problem, the customer, the market.
Well, it's right. I mean, most of that is self-gratifying or impressing your friends and family and stuff like that, as opposed to solving a real need in the market.
It's important too. So that's where you learn. That's where you network. That's where you develop skills.
Right.
That it's the fun part. So it keeps you going day to day. And there are benefits of it, but not in and of itself. If that's the primary reason, then that I'm convinced is not the right way.
Right. I mean, it's just like the woman doesn't love you initially, but you're going to hang in there long enough to make sure she sees your good side.
And what we say too, sometimes I tell people that strategy does work. It's just more risky. It's less likely to work. But people say to me, well, I have this idea. I know it's going to say good for you. Go. Here are some tips that I think will help you hang in there longer, or channel, or funnel, or focus.
Right.
But if you want to be the 1 in a billion who just by pure, I that's one element brute force, and it's
Yeah, no, I mean, well, that's a different character, and that's why I think what we get sucked into is believing that we're all going to be unicorns or whatever. I mean, venture capital itself, only about 15% of them succeed, which is
might even be lower. The decacorns, that's the new. Unicorns aren't cool anymore.
and if you start a small business, a real stuff, I mean, that has a failure rate of less than 50%. Yeah. So that's why, no, you're absolutely right. And now it's even to fail cheaper, I think, than ever before in our country.
I agree. I think I still get scared of that word a little. I think it's like how do you learn cheaper?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Or how do you learn faster? How do you learn more in the same amount of time? How do you accelerate learning?
Yes.
I do agree with the fail fast notion, but it accentuates the failure part of it, and then
yeah. Well, I think because we have a bad connotation, everybody goes through school thinking, don't fail. All this stuff is bad. When, man, this is what life is about, especially now because nobody knows what the hell works. Everybody's guessing their. And I think that's the other problem I have is that experts, get paid a lot of money because they have to make you believe they know the answer when they really don't.
Again, here's another coin. It's not the answer. It's knowing the questions.
Yes. Hey, I should take that one.
But yeah, you're right. I mean, it's 100% true. I actually happen to agree that nobody knows anything, and it's based on the customers and the data and the facts and the evidence of what's actually happening.
Well, see, but you believe in something. Everything's a pain in the ass to do, right? Nothing's easy. And so if you believe in something, to me, that's the ingredient, because that'll get you through all the bad shit you got to get through.
It's not enough to make you succeed, but it's necessary. So you need to have the belief part to succeed. It's like one without the other, but you need both. You need to be right, but you need...
Oh, absolutely right. Together.
The customers, you need the market, you need the timing, you need the luck.
It's magic. Nobody knows. And that's why you might as well trust yourself, because everybody else is guessing too. And if you trust yourself, you'll get more out of the failure.
Yep.
Yeah, because you take somebody else's advice and feel, that guy was an asshole. I knew it would.
This is not a political statement. You need to feel the burn.
Right. Right.
And that's sort of how I feel about mentorship and teaching in general. Like you can't just say do it this way.
Right.
You get them to feel it for themselves.
Right. So now you have your business or your idea that you're still trying to work on. Now that's called, what do you call it now? Neighbor Borrow. Neigh.
Yeah, that's our blessing.
Neighbor.
Beautiful when you see it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It looks beautiful. That's why I think I want to say neighborhood, but it's Neigh. Neigh Borrow. So that's like for horses or something, right? Is that?
Yeah, this is where we go 10 years later.
Yeah.
So it was my favorite thing. It's a portmanteau. I'm sure you know what that is. It's when you take two words and you stick them together.
Yeah.
Neighbor and borrow.
Oh.
We saw the vision.
No, it's great. And
because it shared the same three letters.
Absolutely.
So from that day forth, the idea had to work because the words fit together.
But there, people can go to that website, and if they want to borrow something for free, and if there's nobody in your system now that has it to lend it, you go out and buy the sucker for you if you think it's worthwhile, right? And send it to them.
There's a very limited amount of fine print at the bottom of that offer, but for the most part, yes. If it's less than $250,
right?
If we can ship it, we want to make sure we can ship it to you. We want to make sure it's legal.
Right.
Very reasonable fine print, but yeah, we found through our own experimentation. Obviously, this is a marketplace where it requires borrowers and lenders alike. And in the beginning, we thought that getting the inventory was going to be the biggest challenge, and we found actually that wasn't true.
Everybody's got shit to lend.
Yeah, everyone has, and I guess that's sort of what the idea was founded on. So we weren't that surprised, but everyone's trying to solve multi-algorithm trust, and how do we really ensure that nobody really cares that much. The things that with social media, they were solving the problem enough that people did trust either the borrower or they trusted us. As a platform, supply was not the issue, and we keep talking about this over and over again. So we would get people that would come to say, "Hey, this is the best idea I've ever heard of."
Oh, it's terrific.
We'd get interview yours, I say, okay, great. What do you want to borrow?
Exactly. Oh, I don't know.
That's just a great idea. Great. What do you want to borrow?
Right.
9 out of 10 times they'd say, I said, well, and then even if I started giving them hints, they said, well, hey, do you want a vacuum? You know,
Yeah.
vacation? Are you going on vacation? Or
Yeah.
I don't know. So now it's sort of a little bit of a bluff because we do know that not quite as many people
Right.
are going to take the bait as quickly as they think they will. But on the other hand, like any good experiment, it's also real.
Right. Oh, no, it's terrific. And it's a way for you to get data and learn about the business more, the market, really, the business. And you keep this alive because I think it's a very important thing for our society to have things like this. And that's why they popped up initially. And the people who are in it just for the money are gone. And you're going to be here because it's important to society, and that's it. And now you also have Liberty Ventures, and this helps startups not fall out, get backed in a corner like you've been, right?
It was all about, that organically, it was a lot of the same lessons that I learned myself. And like we talked about a couple minutes ago, you can't just say, hey, do it this way, because
right. Yeah, right.
I figured out it fell, but I don't have the golden goose. I've learned a lot of things to avoid and best practices and things like that. But at the end of the day, it was interesting. I had a little mini epiphany. It was like, well, entrepreneurs don't have this problem of failing. What problem do they have? They have a problem of funding.
Yeah.
They don't have the problem of learning. They don't give a shit about a course or reading. Maybe a little bit, afterwards they get into that. But in the beginning, it's like I want marketing and I want people to hear about it and I want money.
Right, practical stuff. Right. Yeah.
So I sort of I sort of think of it as bribery. Like they have to do the best practices that
I see. Right.
They don't have to listen to what I say. They just have to
do it this way. Whatever the hell you think is right, do it. But this is the way to do it.
So as long as they have to test the hypothesis with the money, and we will invest in that.
Wonderful. So that's libertyventures.com, and then for stuff that you want to borrow for free, you go to Neighborrow, Neigh, borrow.com. Well, Adam, thanks for hanging in there with us and having the stuff that we can take advantage of. Take care.